YouTube, Alan back once again with another of my series of spinner reviews, and today I have a treat. This is the Vanpelt stainless mini triple, and most of their spinners have been aluminum, and this was one that was just recently released, and this thing is an absolute gorgeous spinner. Beautifully done, beautifully machined, great looks, interchangeable weights, nice R188 bearing in it, and let me tell you, this thing is absolutely perfect. This is something that I think is the pinnacle of spinners. Big fan of the Trillium. It's about the same size as a Trillium, and this thing is absolutely perfect. There's no two ways about it. So without any further ado, let's take this sucker down to the tabletop. We'll bust it down, we'll look at it, and give you my thoughts. And let's go ahead and head on down there right now. All right, up close and personal time with the Vanpelt stainless steel mini. Does have the interchangeable weights. As you can see, it comes in their standard handmade box. These things are just the storage box alone is so nice. It definitely adds to the presentation of the spinner. Helps to justify the price. Like I said, these are not real super cheap, but what they do with this box is just simply amazing. It just, you feel like when you get this spinner that you're getting something, not only a spinner, but you're getting a nice presentation with it, where you can store it as well, and it is absolutely breathtaking, amazing. They just do a fantastic job with these, and I commend them on their craftsmanship. It is above and beyond just about anything I've seen out there. Definitely worth the price of admission. These things need to get a little bit more love. So this is the Vanpelt Mini, the stainless steel. A lot of their other spinners are a little bit bigger than this, kind of a standard size fidget spinner. And this one has, they finally hit the market with a mini size. So this is a little bit more fidgetable, a little easier to pocket, and is just simply amazing. Let's go ahead and pull it out. As you can see, it gives you a nice little place to store the weights. And even without the weights, this is such a nice spinner. The craftsmanship that goes into this thing is just, I mean, what can you say about it? They did a beautiful job. As you can see there, has the little dimples around the end of the arms with the VP, the Vanpelt logo. And it is truly amazing. You get a nice kind of a polished surface on the top. On the side, it is more of a brushed, and it does give you that nice contrasting look. A very unique bearing retainer system on this. Little bit of takes a little bit of time to get that bearing out and change it if you need to, but he puts a very nice FZ Essential Super bearing in it, so the bearing is already top of the line. Shouldn't need to do anything with that. Nice, wide, grippy, comfortable buttons, chamfered all the way around, almost rounded around the side, as you can see. Just absolutely amazing. Has those interchangeable weights. And I'll show you those weights here in a minute, because I'm going to put them on the scale so you can see the difference in weight amongst the three, and you can kind of do the math. But let's just take a look at the spinner. You can see I want to get a thickness of it, and this is about a 1/2 inch across. Let's use this one here. So if you look at it there, about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little more than a 1/2 inch. With if you're considering the buttons and everything, a touch over a 1/2 inch. But this thing is so comfortable. Finger fatigue is not an issue with this spinner at all. It is absolutely amazing. It is about the size, just so you can get a comparison, it's about the size of a Trillium. So if you look at a Trillium next to it, they are almost exactly the same size. So the Trillium obviously is a perfect size for me. And you can see this is exactly the same size, and added the weights on this are not going to make it any bigger because they don't extend past the edge of the arms. So that is going to be the size with or without the weight. So you see it's about the same size as that Trillium, which is a perfect size, a little bit thicker than Trillium, obviously. And the spin on this thing is absolutely fantastic. Smooth as silk and just a pleasure to spin, for sure, no doubt. This is very quickly become one of my favorites. I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't have the issue with the focus. There we go. The spin on this thing is absolutely fantastic. The buttons are just beautifully done, very comfortable. As you can see, they're it's not so much concaved as it's kind of a large step down to the center. Got about a 1/4 inch flat spot in the center, but they are very, very nice and comfortable. Take a look at that bearing retainer system I was talking about. Let's go ahead and pop the buttons off of it. Nicely machined, by the way. Has a nice stud in the center. Beautifully done. Okay, now let's move these out of the way, dealing with the focus. Now, here's where your retainer system is. It comes with 5 set screws in it, and this top plate does come off. I'm not going to take it apart just because of the fact that these things are so small that you drop one and that's all she wrote. It'd be tough to find. They're very, very tiny. So, very nice retainer system. Kind of a pain. Be easier with a ring that you would just back out if you needed to change it. But this is just that much more detailed machining that went into this piece. Obviously, it helps to justify the price, and actually it looks really cool. So there you have it. You see, you got nice brushed on the side, very comfortable. The edges they're not so much chamfered as they are rounded, which makes for a very comfortable feel. No finger fatigue with this thing. I've been spinning it for a few days now, and every day I fall a little bit more in love with it. So this very, very quickly has jumped into my favorites list for sure. It is just a beauty. Absolutely love this thing. Definitely suggest you going out and picking one up. And let's get a real quick weight on this thing. So it's not too super heavy. I'd put this thing right there in my sweet spot, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and fire up the scale. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the scale. I'm going to drop the camera down a little bit so we can get a better view. It doesn't fade out the numbers. Bam, right in the middle. 60 on the nose, which is right in the middle of my sweet spot, which is 50 to 75. So perfect weight. Now what I want to do is I want to take the weights out and show you what each set weighs. You have 2 different sizes. You got the big ones, you got the little ones. The spin time that I did on this, I used the big ones so I can give you what would be the maximum spin time. So keep that in mind. The spin time is with the large weights, and these can be kind of a puzzle just to pull out. All right, let's take the large ones and set the large ones on there. As you can see, you're looking at about 18 grams for the set of large weights. So 78 is what you're going to have once they're on the spinner. Now let's get the small ones out. Again, you really gotta, let's see if they just fall out. Yeah, they just fell out. There we go. All right, the small ones are 11.5, so about 71 grams if you're using the small ones. So there you have it. There's the 2 different sizes of weights. Now what I want to do real quick, I'll throw the large ones on there so you can kind of see what it looks like. The threads on these things are buttery smooth as well. I would imagine this thing would look pretty cool if you took a flame and you flamed these. You'd probably give it a really nice look. You can kind of make the weights one color and maybe make the spinner body itself a different color. That would look kind of cool. Let's go ahead and throw this on here so you can get a peek at it with the weights on it. As you can see, they go on so very easily. And there you have it. Such a beautiful spinner. They really did a great job with this thing. Very nicely balanced, perfectly balanced, well machined, a beautiful piece for sure. So that is pretty much it for a breakdown of the spinner. Let's go ahead and take this thing outside. Let's put some sunlight to it. Let's see what it looks like when it warps. We'll come back and I will give you my final thoughts on the Vanpelt Stainless Mini. All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that portion of the video. Let me just tell you, this spinner is literally spinner bliss. This thing is just absolutely perfect in every way. Perfect size, perfect weight, perfect feel, comfortable buttons. You really can't ask for much more. Beautiful presentation with the box and, of course, the way it stores. It is just absolutely amazing. You cannot go wrong with this. I think everybody should have one of these. If you don't have one of these yet, this is something you ought to run out and grab right away. Do not hesitate. Do not let this one get away. I will leave a link down below where you can go check it out and see for yourself. But as someone that does these reviews and has done enough of these reviews and spun enough spinners, I can tell you this. This thing is as close to perfect as I've seen, for sure. This thing is absolutely awesome. So check out that link. Go out and check yourself out one of these. Maybe pick one up. A little pricey, but believe me, it is definitely well worth the price of admission for sure. So once again, I want to thank you for hanging out with me a little bit today. A couple other videos for you to see if you'd like. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, come back, check out some of my other videos. There'll be a link right up in the corner. Go ahead and hit that if you like. And once again, man, let me thank you for hanging out. It's always a good time. And just remember one thing. Keep calm. Spin on. Out.